All right. Um, this is another video, and in this video, it's really just to put things in perspective, and also to talk about testify about what's happening to me. My perps want me to take this as something like they're avenging, they're you know making pay back. And they like to say this thing where they say, we're gonna watch you. We're gonna watch you being tortured. We're gonna watch you getting raped. We're gonna frame you. But all this means we're gonna frame you. We're gonna frame you by maybe implanting child porn on your computer. We're gonna do this and that. All these things they say, right? And they want me to see them as these fierce avengers. Yesterday, I was talking about somebody that perhaps was, I was saying that, I had something with somebody where when I was much younger, it really impacted me in the sense that, I always thought of her since then. I'm not saying that they were going to try to counter, because reality to them is something that they want to escape. They want to live in their fantasy they made. I know what they truly are, and this is what I'm going to bring back here. Because as they try to escape into this fantasy, I'm going to bring it back. So I just woke up, and they were making me think of of me as a kid and what I did. Of course, it's first of all, I always feel embarrassed, right? It doesn't like it, I don't want to think. I'm a grown man thinking about this thing is just disgusting. And on top of that, they add extra to it. I gotta always remember when they're talking about what I did as a kid. I always look at this. This is maybe a year before I did whatever stupid thing I did. About a year, and I want this picture because it just shows. Okay, this is what a child did. I know for them it doesn't matter because they're not here for that. They're not here for that. They're just trying to find something to try to pretend like this is coming from. It's just to them. It's like thank God that we have something to try to make it seem like it's this is something they're just glad that they have, so they can try to use that as we're avenging, we are daring to protect the kids. Now I know who's talking to me. I know what they do, and if they forget that I know, I'll be sure to bring it back to reality. But in this program, you also have your family member involved in this. I know that it's not new. There's plenty of testimony about that, and they're gonna try to. The family members are involved in the ways to try to make you accept this nastiness. Because what's happening today is they're forcing me to have these disgusting stimulations and perception. But I know family members are fully aware, very, very much aware of that. The thing that kills them here is because they do things that is very systematic. They do things very systematic, and so as much as they want you to accept this, it's like, okay, so you tell me like everybody else is saying the same thing. You understand? And I know myself. So you tell me as a kid, I'll never let you live your fantasy. You're not that. What you're doing is the pedophilia type of tormenting, and you try to bring back what I did as a kid, as a child. As a child who just barely hit puberty. So who just barely hit teenagehood. A kid, truly a kid. And I know a kid is capable of doing this stupid thing, especially at that moment, impulsive, nothing twice. Now what they try to do is create something based on that and make me feel like this is something natural or something that's normal. Like you see how you feel, and then they give me even feelings when I'm talking about it. They really are trying to rewire you into something else and say, no, remember what you did as a kid. No, I know what I did as a child, but I'm not a child, and I've been an adult long enough to know who I am. But that's not their job. Their job is to make you accept these things. I heard this kid just open up and hey, we kill, whispering that. I know they kill. They kill children too. That's the thing they forget. They want me to isolate myself in this reality. Oh my God, this is only happening to me. These people are not only torturing me. I do this. Oh, the people they've tortured, you won't believe. And when I say when they kill, it doesn't take much. They do things remotely, so this killing is easy. It's the most. It's probably like the easiest way to kill a person. They kill kids. They kill women. And so as they try to sound fierce, I'm like, I know what you truly are. Your facade is not gonna work. And every time they go into their fantasy land, I'm like, no, 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 no. Come back to reality. How many women you think he killed in this program? I know what you guys do. I know why you're killing me. Not your fantasy thing. I know who put me in this program here. My employee who put me in this program. I know. This is the reason why you can't say certain names. And so, do you think I'm like, oh my gosh, this subway was like, they're looking, oh, what you did as a kid? No, the children do stupid things. No, I was put in this program. When you're in the program, they start creating a persona, like try to make you look like something you're not, and then they're gonna use whatever they can to try to make you be something that you're not. And of course, family members are involved. At first I thought maybe why is it? No, family members are involved. I already talked about how my family is involved. I'm getting messages from somebody I haven't talked to in a long time. She's sending picture of her kids. Now I know it's not randomly happening. She's involved in this, and I think it has to also to do with a video I made not too long ago, trying to counter that. Because there was reality that something happened when I was maybe an older teen, and it stuck with me for a long time. And so they try to counter that. And so I'm receiving these messages from somebody I haven't talked to in a long time, showing me pictures of children, her children. Now, I'm not going to look at those pictures because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get the disturbing reaction they forced me to have. But I think she thought, oh my gosh, feel guilty because remember what you did as a kid, a younger kid. It's like, no, I know, I'm an adult. I know, first of all, why kids is capable, and I know I was a child myself, and I know it's not to the extent they're trying to exaggerate. That's why they always try to add something to it. I know what I actually did. They're trying to add something, sometimes we go even to the more extreme. So they try to find something that's like a little less than the extreme they create, and and it's still embarrassing. But you think I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, it's a year before. I'm not gonna let them live their fantasy. And on top of that, I know this person that I haven't talked to in a while knows that I know that these people that are investigating are just people who are disgusting, who torture children. I've been validated beyond nth degree. The storylines are so horrible. What they do to people is so horrible. She wouldn't know what to look. The facade of them trying to be this woke group of progressive people is the BS. The CIA has been recruiting these woke people for a while. So as they try to make me think of me as a kid, and matter of fact, the thing that they try to do, right? I remember when I saw the father, and he saw me, and we talked about it, and I remember seeing it in circumstances, and I know that at this point is probably, okay, he probably saw, I remember what you did, but I remember you doing it. I know what you did something stupid, but you were a kid. I know that. So these people are trying to be like, we're going to avenge with them. They don't give a F about that. They don't care. Now they try to use this person to try to feel like, oh, we do a good thing. And they're like, we're going to watch it. You are such a fraud, you piece of ass. Do you understand these people tortured children? How many people they've killed and watched, including children and women? And they're like, oh, you're nothing. So what are you? That you're trying to even make yourself be like this avengers to whatever. No, I'm not going to let you live that fantasy. If I'm a nothing, what does it make you? I've never felt so dignified in my life. I've never felt like so honorable. Whatever's going to happen to me, whatever torture, rapes, or whatever, It's not going to stop me from telling you and saying the things that these people need to hear. That there are people who trash even children, even women. Do you know how they try to counter things? I said, using this V2K, they keep saying they're going to rape you or they're going to F you. They're effing you. This is what they have to live on. Can you imagine? Because in their world, they are they want to run away from what they're part of. They're just focalizing on, oh, he's going to gain. This is going to happen to him. These people are doing horrible things to some of the most vulnerable. They know that. I will say that all the time. They're trying to distance themselves. They wanted to play this Avengers. And then when some people are involved, I'm like, no, I know what they're involving themselves today. They're trying to counter the reality. And try to focalize on the stupidity of an 8th grader who did something stupid once and try to block out something that actually was a moment that carried on for a while. So these people who tell me, oh, we're going to frame you by doing this, child porn implanted, drugs implanted, some child is going to say something about some child's going to say that I did something. Like, listen to this trash. You think they care? They are trash. They will destroy anybody. I see them truly for what they are. Truly. Like, there's no escaping this thing they've created for themselves. Till my last breath, I know there'll be a time when I will not be able to function. There'll be a time. There'll be time maybe soon, but I know it's going to come. I expect that. This is why I make videos. Now, there'll be a moment where my body will be so unable to do anything. Even now, it's getting tougher and tougher. So it's my time right now to be able to speak now when I can. Because at one point, I will never be, and I will not have the capability to do that. So I need to say something today. And so this is why I make these videos. Because these people who do some of the foulest things, such as this, and I will never get them to live their fantasy. And I know it's the same people as much as they try to distance themselves.
At least on 1 or 2 occasions for each of them during the... She has also grabbed her crotch, saying,
"This is a 7-year-old.
This was used to threaten me with severe sexual
7-year-old
torture.
autistic kid."
One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation.
You heard different types of torture, and this is a child that's 7 years old and autistic. This is not too long ago. Her testimony was in 2018. We're not talking about like way back, 2018. You hear a child being molested by these people using this technology, because they were saying you molest, they wish it's true. They talk about, they won't exaggerate what I did as a kid to that point. No, I know what I did to myself, but you guys actually molest children. Maybe not directly, but you use this weapon to torture, and then they try to do, then maybe not directly, they try to make me imagine it. But you use this technology to do these disturbing things to kids, where they feel pain and hurt in sexual parts, in their private areas. They do these things. This is reality. I'm not trying to talk about the stupid things you as a child did to yourself, where you have to exaggerate. I'm talking about you right now are in this program that does these things to children. And you're trying to be, oh, remember what you did as a kid? And then do these pedophilia things to me? And they're like, no, that was you when you're a child. And to try to block out really what was in my mind when I was a teenager. You have somebody send pictures. Well, I will them not, for sure not look at, because I know what's going to happen. And it's funny, I remember the picture of these kids when they were much younger, nothing, now they try to implant the stimulations. with the memory. They try to go back to my memory and add stimulations. People are even hiding my Facebook picture now. They're trying to counter reality by creating stimulation that won't